Penguin class, I hope you're all keeping safe and well. I'm going to read you a story today called Pumpkin Soup by Helen Cooper. Deep in the woods, there's an old white cabin with pumpkins in the garden. There's a good smell of soup, and at night, with luck, you might see a bagpiping cat through the window, and a squirrel with a banjo, and a small singing duck. Pumpkin soup, the best you've ever tasted. Made by the cat, who slices up the pumpkins, made by the squirrel, who stirs the water, and made by the duck, who scoops in a pipkin of salt and tips in just enough. They slurp their soup and play their song. Then they pop off to bed, in a quilt stitched together by the cat, embroidered by the squirrel, and filled with fine feathers from the duck. And it's peaceful in the old white cabin. Everyone has his own job to do. Everyone is happy, or so it seems. But one morning, the duck woke up early. He tiptoed into the kitchen and smiled at Squirrel's special spoon. Wouldn't it be fine, he murmured, if I could be the head cook? So he drew up a stool, he hopped on top, and he reached until his beak just touched the tip of the spoon. And kerplonk! Down it clattered. Then the duck trotted back to the bedroom. He held up the spoon and he said, "Today it is my turn to stir the soup." "That's mine," said the squirrel. "Stirring is my job. Give it back." "But you're much too small," snapped the cat. We'll cook the way we have always cooked." But the duck held on tight until the squirrel tugged with all his might, and whoops! The spoon spun through the air and hit the cat on the head. There was trouble, a horrible squabble, a row, a racket, a rumpus in the old white cabin. "I'm not staying here," wailed the cat. "You never let me help with anything." Then he packed up his burrow, he put on his hat, and he waddled away. "You'll be back," said the cat, after we'd cleaned up. And the squirrel shook his spoon in the air. But the duck did not come back. Not for breakfast, not even for lunch. "I'll find him," scoffed the cat. "He'll be hiding outside. I bet he's in the pumpkin patch." But the duck was not in the pumpkin patch. They could not find him anywhere. So they waited all that long afternoon. The cat watched the door and the squirrel paced the floor. "That duck will be sorry when he comes home," they murmured. But the duck didn't come home, not even at soup time. The soup wasn't tasty. They'd made it too salty and they weren't feeling hungry anyway. They both sobbed over supper and their tears dripped into the soup, which made it even saltier. "We should have let him stir the soup," sniffed Squirrel. "He was only trying to help," wept the cat. "Let's go and look for him." The cat and the squirrel were scared as they wandered down the path into the deep dark wood. They feared for the duck all alone with the trees, the foxes, the witches, the wolves and the bears, but they couldn't find him. On and on they trotted until they reached the edge of a steep cliff. "Maybe he's fallen down there," wailed the cat. "I will save him," squeaked the squirrel, and he scampered down. He went down a long shaky rope and he searched all around on the ground, but he could not find the duck. Then the duck whispered in a sad little voice, "Duck might have found some better friends." "He might," said Squirrel, "friends who let him help." And the more they thought about it as they plodded back, the more they were sure they were right. But when they were almost home, they saw a light shining from the old white cabin. "It's Duck!" And they burst through the door, and Duck was so pleased to see them. He was also very hungry, and although it was late, they thought they would all make some pumpkin soup. And when the duck stirred, the cat and the squirrel did not say a word. Not even when the duck, stirring, got so fast that all the soup slopped out of the pot. not even when the pot got burnt. Then the duck showed the squirrel how to measure out some salt, and the soup was the best you'd ever tasted. So once again, it was peaceful in the old white cabin, until the duck said, "I think I will play the bagpipes soon." Thank you.